Alright folks, welcome this morning to Smith Welding Restoration. I got a really cool phone call over the weekend and you guys stopped by. These are the sides, this one and that one, of an old-timey gas pump. There's the faces. Well, here's kind of the problem. They went and they had them all stripped down. I had a whole box of parts in here that are stripped down at one of our local sandblast places. The guys are great. I've seen some of their work. I'll be sending shit there when I need it done. Here's kind of a word of woe. Let me show you what's going on here. I started hitting this with a line file on 80. The rusty color, that is a primer the owner applicated and they ran into problems. I kind of get into that. Bodywork. See that? You see that? And that was a good sized dent at one time because that's still a little low. They did the bodywork themselves. Kudos. Now, I'm not saying nothing about nothing. Again, we'll go back to the facet of we do the best we know how to do at the time. When we learn better, we do better. Just things to watch out for, folks. If I can help the next owner that's got one of these sitting in their garage, you can do this yourself, people. You just gotta block that shit. Block it, make sure it feathers out. Your hands don't lie to you. And if your hands do lie to you, well, use a guide coat. You've seen the guide coat, you've seen me use guide coat, you've seen other folks up here in the garage on guide coat, so we know what that is. If you don't, go check out my Omega videos. There are all kinds of guide coat I'm rubbing off that thing. Now here's the other one. Like I said, it's a line file on an 80. We got some spots. It's going to need a little more body work before we're done. But here's the big problem. They primered this, okay? Let's see if we can get it to focus for us. You can kind of see these are lines. See that? This isn't the owner's body work. The guy did pretty damn good body work for not really knowing, you know, not having an idea. They used what was recommended to them by Napa. Napa gave them lacquer-based primer. Well, lacquer-based primer in an extreme temperature swing, which we are dealing with these days in Iowa, it'll crack, and it cracked on them. Mind you, this has been sandblasted, a little bit of hammer dolly work, not a lot, but mostly body work. They did the body work okay, and then primered it. No big deal. Shit's coming apart. They put lacquer on it. Now my guess, I haven't confirmed this, my guess is they did it in their garage. They heated it up while they were out there because it was cold, and it's supposed to be 60 degrees. I'm sure it says on the can, most cans do, especially consumer. It's supposed to be 60 degrees temperature to shoot any paint. And then they shut the garage up and shut the heat down because, well, they painted it in 60 degree. That's what people don't figure. You got to allow a certain amount of cure time. The bubblegum fix I did last week for the car lot, I had some issues with my clear, man. My heat died, and it was too late to go get more. Because I run that little fucker off of a 20-pound cylinder right now. If I had a truck and my own means to take, I got 300-pound cylinders. Those will last a week running all the time, but I don't run it all the time. I run it while I'm out here, and if I'm painting something, I'll leave it going for a few hours so that paint's had a chance to start curing out. So, just beware what products you're using. You gotta be at least one part chemist to do this shit. Lacquers, they don't use anymore. There's a fucking reason. They crack. Enamels, acrylic enamels, and that's what this is gonna go back with. That's what that has on it right now, is acrylic enamel. That's okay for what it is. Single stage, cheap. Go with it, you know, not cheap like worthless cheap, but I mean less expensive paint job. That's okay on the right projects. Like this is a perfect candidate. This one he's gonna go back base clear. The Omega, perfect project. The family wants to cruise in and have fun. Base clear now you got. I've never even fucked with waterborne, so I couldn't tell you about any of that. This is what we're working on today. This is what we're doing next couple days. We're gonna get this taken care of. I'm gonna get this documented. This is really the first good footage I've gotten of this lady so far. You're gonna get a lot more. We gotta look at this and call the gentleman. He is the same guy that owns the gas pumps behind us. It's a little Mustang pedal car. And I got a box of parts. We don't have all the parts. So I gotta do a little research. I gotta find out what the fuck on the pedal car. And give him a price and you know, do all that jazz. Get it done for him. So we got stuff bumping and moving and grinding, and you know, I think we're coming into our season.
Alright, not a lot of talk here on this, but this is the last part of this gas pump we're doing. And I'm taking and line filing them out. I showed you the owner had done some pretty decent body work, but he wasn't all the way there. All you boys know what I'm talking about. So I'm hitting this with line file. Leaf is actually doing some painting right now on other parts. I'll hit this with line file to get what they got mudded in straightened out, to make sure that is straightening up. Do some painting, we'll do a little bit of filler and sand, and we'll straight into slick sand. So I'll run this line file for y'all. When I'm running these line files, I try to switch the direction, just like switching directions when you're blocking. This here is a concave surface, at least it was. Sort of is again. The idea here is just like on the quick, entry-level restorations we do. We take a line file, knocking all the previous work down flat to where we're at. We know this is fresh lead work. They took it down to a local place on the sandblasted, so there's no extraneous material from before left on it. So we're working on good substrate. It's just not straight. Areas across here, this window frame, they're going to be there with a hand block, soft hand block. It's kind of a line file. Let me show you around what's going
on. We get a piece in here and we just start marking it up. This is a China marker. We got all this shit marked, scribbles everywhere. Leaf has started on that piece there. We're only going to do a little bit of peening on this particular project. We didn't want all out perfect. He wants the look of an old gas pump with a new dress. That's what we're going to give him. Really, the determining factor of why we are here is because he went to that lacquer primer they gave him up at the auto parts store. Cracked on him. He realized that he was out of his lane to step and find some other way.